Everybody, it's Michael, your campus minister with Kane Catholic, and today I have a reflection for you guys that I have been thinking about for a little while, and I really pray that this touches your heart. Um, I know it's the Lord's really touched my heart in this way to help me to gain a view of my everyday life, and I hope it helps you guys as well. And it's based on a passage from the book of Exodus, and this is God speaking. And God says, I raised you up for this very purpose, that I might display my power in you, and that my name might be proclaimed in all the earth. So let's break that down a little bit. What does that mean? What does that mean? Well, first and foremost, God has a purpose for you today. Today. Yesterday, today, tomorrow, ever since you were conceived in your mother's womb, and ever since you took your first breaths, and every subsequent breath that we take is number one, a gift, but number two, an indication and a knowledge that God has a purpose for us. And that's something that I really think we need to keep in mind, especially when we're having bad days or struggling and we feel like we're just running on a hamster wheel and not going anywhere. It's like, Lord, what's the purpose of this? But knowing that each breath, the rhythm of our breathing, can remind us that God loves us and that there's a reason that we're here, that our lives are precious. And what is our purpose of life? Well, that's a big question. But from a Christian perspective, when we ask that, we know that it's to be with God. We were created in the image and likeness of God, and Jesus came to save us and to redeem us, to bring us back to that intimate relationship of love. Our purpose is to be in heaven with God. So that's the broad picture. All right, how that happens, God's individual plans for our lives, what we do for a living, our vocational call, all of that specific to each of us. But the greatest purpose is that through whatever road we're called on, God is calling us back to Himself, to be like Christ and to follow Christ, who is the way, the truth, and the life, that we might have ever-abiding joy in the heavenly kingdom one day. And that's amazing, because that's what you were made for. Eternal beatitude, eternal joy, to be with God in heaven. That's what I was made for. That's what we're all made for. And so many of us think, that doesn't seem realistic. That's just for the saints. But guess what? The saints weren't always saints. You know what the requirement to be a saint is? Well, first you have to die. No one's a saint in this life. This life is a continued journey of striving after love, to love like Jesus Christ. And that's a journey that we can begin anew every day, recommitting ourselves to prayer. If we haven't prayed in a little while, or we haven't gone to confession or Mass in a while, Jesus is calling us to say, get back up. Come and follow me. Find your purpose in me. I think those are Jesus' words to us, because when we do that, we can become more and more like Him, and we find a joy, a happiness in finding that purpose, right? If we speak philosophically about this, someone is the happiest when they're fulfilling their purpose in life. And our purpose is to be known and loved by God, and to know and to love God. Just like if this pencil, if it were sentient, if it could think and have feelings, right? What's a pencil created for? To write, to erase. This pencil will be happiest when it's doing its writing, when it's doing its erasing. This pencil would not be happy if I chose to use it as a can opener, because I'd break the pencil, and I wouldn't open the can. It wouldn't be fulfilling its purpose. You and I don't fulfill our purpose when we commit sin. But the good news in that is that we have such a loving God, Jesus Christ, that's come to deliver us from sin, that even when we screw up in our everyday lives, we can go back to him and be made new in the sacrament of confession. And we continue down that road to try to follow and find our purpose in this life. And when we do that, we also need to realize that our lives, no one lives alone. We might feel lonely, but our lives, our actions have a profound effect. It's a woven tapestry that connects all of us together in the great creation that God has made. That the way that I love, the way that you love, the specific ways that we're called to love and bring love to other people has a profound impact on the universe, my friends. And that's in this quote from Exodus. God has raised us up for the purpose of knowing him, of being known by him, so that his love, which is his greatest power, might be manifest in us, and that we might, as Jesus has asked us, love God and love our neighbors, and allow God to be known in that way, so that those who are far off, those who might not know their purpose, those who might not know that God loves them, that we can encounter them and let them know that they have value, that they have a meaning in their lives, and that God loves them and wants to know them. And we have to know that first and foremost for ourselves too. So just remember, God has a purpose for you this day. He's given you a life to live, and he's placed you in a place wherever you are where there are lives around you that you can touch, and there's a love that you can share that flows from Jesus' heart. And that love, when we share that with others, that becomes a shining light that points to Christ. But it's him loving us that inspires us to do our part, and it's us opening our hearts just that little tiny fraction of an inch that allows God to do his work in us. Because if God has given us this purpose, he will also give us the way to achieve it. Give us the grace. He will not leave us wanting. But are we opening up our hearts and seeking him each day? Because he never leaves us. He's always leading us. And he's helping us find our purpose. And the conclusion of our purpose, which is to be with him in heaven. I hope I've given you guys something to think about today, and I pray God bless you and keep you. I'll see you next time.